25,000 followers, so just saying. But of course, some of you know him as TJ Hooker. Some of you may know him as the Priceline Negotiator. By the way, did you guys see him on Wayne Brady the other night on the Late Late Show? He kissed Wayne Brady. And it wasn't even a holiday. It is Valentine's Day. Just saying. Just saying. But of course, to most of the people in this room, he is simply the captain. Captain James T. Kirk. So please join me, Indianapolis, for a very, very warm welcome on this very, very cold day to the one and only director, author, and two-time Emmy Award-winning actor, Mr. William Shatner.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, here we are, huh? It's not that cold. Yes, it is. So, the question is, you know, how do you start off? What do you do to warm the audience up? So you look at me and say, gosh, she's gotten old. So I'm sort of familiar with the Indianapolis area. 15 years ago today, I got married in Lebanon, a little north of here. It was, I didn't want to get married, and my wife's family lives in Brownsville. And so I'd been in the area visiting sometime before that. Anyway, we didn't want to get married in Los Angeles. And there's a young lady who called the television thing in Lebanon and said, look what I got. A marriage certificate, and Shatner got married, and so it was before I had made the tour of the 4 blocks. The reporters had, and the additional story to that is we intended to have the religious ceremony at their house, at my in-laws' house, which is a farm with no fence. So there was some press went into the, so we had to escape the farm. And we drove, and it became a cloak and dagger thing until we ended up in Elizabeth's sister's home, and it was ridiculous. It was just chaotic and terrible, and all because this clerk decided to. So we got married again the following year in, actually, just to bore you with one more instance, since the minister did the thing in her sister's house, we were out of the county where we had signed the civil. So some of you know that what we didn't know. So for a year, we thought we were married, but apparently you have to have the civil and religious ceremony in the same county to stay married. So we were married for a year. We were living in sin for a year. All because of Lebanon. You know? I hate Lebanon. That's my Lebanese story. Then, so Los Angeles doesn't have a football team, okay? I'm bereft because I used to play and I love, and the Rams left and Oakland Raiders, the Raiders left, and we don't have a football team. So, the Colts were a natural thing. I mean, Lebanon and the farm, and Indianapolis is our team. And Peyton Manning is old. He's an old guy. And I love old guys. So Peyton Manning was my guy. So when the Colts let Peyton Manning go, were you as outraged as I was? That was bizarre. The man made the team. He's the greatest football player ever. So I followed him to the Broncos. Right. But when Andrew Luck came here and I followed Andrew Luck of the Twilight Zone. practical answer. See, here's where I think answering it is not as interesting as the truth. The practical answer is, doing a television show for an actor is, you come on the stage, you've learned your lines at home, okay? And the director says, all right, you sit in the chair, and then you sit in this chair, and we'll have this guy, he's a Czechoslovakian acrobat. We're going to put him in a little fur suit, and we're going to stand him over there on the other side of a window, and you'll pretend that he's on the wing of a jet. Really? Okay, so in 3 days we do that, and it becomes one of the more popular Twilight songs. So there's two things attached to that. First of all, it gets very popular, whatever it was, at 27,000 feet. And the other thing is my kids saw it, and every time we got on an airplane, when they were young, my kids would say, Dad, do the look. So I'd pretend to be looking out the window, and they would call the stewardess, hey, come on, would you mind coming over here, please? My father is seeing something. And I'd be looking out the window, and I'd turn to her and go, that's how I brought my kids up. So there's that aspect. But what's the deeper question on that? So the deeper question is, this inherent fear when that plane goes up is that we shouldn't be there. I mean, if we were meant to fly, we'd have wings, sort of thing. What's keeping that airplane up? And when it gets bumping, it feels like it's not going to stay up. And so this little guy on the wing, who was a Czechoslovakian acrobat in a furry suit, you'd think they'd have gotten a better aerodynamic suit. But it was like a little bear, you know? And I'd say, are you okay, Gustav? You know? And it's hot in here, it's hot. That's the reality of shooting it. But the magic that all these years later, that you in this audience on a cold Saturday afternoon ask me a question about Twilight Zone is as magical as anything else, as quantum mechanics. It's just it's a miracle that a show like that lasts that long, and you're there to ask me that question. It's really fun. That's it. Dismay that God, a 9-year-old child, I learned to my dismay. So I'm talking about modified crops, GMO. I forgot what G is. What is G?
Genetically.
What?
Genetically modified.
Genetically modified, exactly. God, you all knew that and I forgot. So I'm talking to her, 9 years old. GMOs, what do you think? Are GMOs good? She says, well, you know, I don't know. And she has an intelligent answer. But it's alive. I said, well, the wheat and the life. And I said, well, what is life? She says, well, you know, life. I said, I had a piece of lime in a iced tea. And I said, well, is a piece of lime alive? And she looked at it, she said, yes. I said, why do you think it's alive? She says, well, it's got a seed in it. The seed represents life. This is 9 years old. So I'm loving. How do you define yourself on that? So I find the question, are you Captain Kirk? I played Captain Kirk. Next year, 2016, I'm trying to sell a show right now on the anniversary, the 50th anniversary, 50 years ago. So if somebody's saying, are you Captain Kirk? I'm like, God, that's so long ago, I guess I was. But that's a drop in this ocean who is a person. But how do you define the ocean? The ocean, how do you define the ocean? It moves, the tides come in and out, algae spread. I mean, how do you define what is? is there such a thing as definition? Or is the lines of reality and define what is and what isn't always changing, and we don't know? And if we admit we don't know, then we don't know. It's quite a state of flux to be in. Does that answer your deep?